Nice.
Hello, good afternoon, and welcome to what I hope isn't the final edition, but what is the final edition this season of Thunder Thursday. We have assistant coach and son of the owner, Lucas, here with us today. Lucas, how you doing today, man?
Doing well, excited to be on this final edition of Thunder Thursday. Really looking forward to it.
Yeah, glad to have you here, man. So let's just jump right into it. Let's talk about your relationship with basketball and what got you involved at such a young age on the organizational side.
Um, well, my mom, she played overseas when she was younger before she had me. So I was basically born with basketball in my hand, I guess you could say. I didn't really fall in love with the game till I was around 8, and I kind of fell in love through it through LeBron. I started watching him, and then I started playing. I realized I kind of saw the game in a different way than a couple other of my teammates, and I wasn't as good as figuring out. I wasn't as good as playing it. I was as good as figuring out what was going to happen and who was gonna be good at shooting this. So as soon as I got involved with basketball and playing, I just, instead of playing video games or going outside, I just studied. I watched probably hours and hours of film from, 80s, 90s, 2000s. So when I was younger, I could tell you, any stat about any player. And then once we joined the ABA last season, that's exactly what I did, but for the ABA. So I kind of saw how, each player could move, each team ran, which team ran organizations, which team ran, plays, and which team just ran, basically street ball.
So you kind of always been into the analytical side of the game. That's what you're saying. Like at an early age, you kind of found a passion for it.
Yeah, definitely. I've always loved math, and math is brought into basketball so much more than you would think. And it was genuinely surprising when, especially from, the management side, the behind the scenes, the things you don't see, and figuring out numbers and money and in and out and everything like that. It's a lot more than you would expect.
That's awesome. That's great that you got a broad perspective of the game at an early age. Let's talk about your relationship with the Red Rose Thunder. I know you said last year was your first season there with them in the ABA. How would you compare last season to this season?
Well, last season was definitely, I would say, kind of like a learning curve season. It was both Coach and I's first year, and we went into it not knowing that much other than what was on film and everything.
Okay.
And I guess there was a lot of unexpected, and I think we went into it this year instead of the ABA into an ECBL, which in my opinion is a lot more competitive, and the teams are a lot more organized. And we went in with six other ABA teams that we had played, all of them except for 2, and we knew they were organized. We knew how they ran things. We knew the owners. We were we were friends. There's no bad blood between the owners. You're good. And there was a difference, automatically difference. You switched. And this team is definitely a lot better than last year's team.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like we kept a lot of main rotational pieces from last season and then added more great players. Sorry.
What players did you have from last year that you brought over this?
We have Christo Majoke, Mr. Quadruple Double earlier this season. Lord Zachary Vouse, Xavier Mumford, great defensive piece. He's actually making his Thunder return this Saturday. He's been gone.
Oh, awesome.
So, and I believe that's it. If I'm not forgetting anyone. I feel really bad if I did. But we also brought back Kenny Wilson. He left the team later this first season, but he played the majority of his first season with the Thunder.
That's awesome. So what's the difference in style of play between last year and this
Um, I would say last year we had too many people trying to score the ball. Like you had scores, and that was it. There was nobody like Demetrius Davenport who would, take out the offense and set it up. And he didn't always look to score, he would look to find someone else. Now,
year? You're saying that
Kenny Wilson developed into that role late last season. And this season, he's doing a great job of setting everyone up. But we didn't really have, when he left last season, we had great scores. And the reason we might not have gone far in the playoffs, which got canceled last season due to COVID, because you had too many people trying to score the ball. There's one
you're
ball.
it,
And
just, it sounds like what you brought to the team this year that you didn't have last year on the court leadership, right? A
oh
guy
yeah,
like a Demetrius Davenport, a Makai Clemens, you know what I mean? Guys that are credible enough to stop the ball when they need to and respected enough for guys to not argue with them when they have
and the main difference from last year is everyone clicks. Like there's not like last year we had on the court issues with players, and they like one player wouldn't pass the ball to a certain player because they didn't like it. There's no that this year. Off the court things are off the court things. On the court, you got to work in unison or you're not playing.
That's one of the things I noticed in the conversation, that you guys are a very close knit group. Like from top to bottom, from new guys to old guys, there's just a real sense of camaraderie and fellowship in the team. That's really encouraging for a group of grown men choosing to come together who could all choose to have their own egos.
Oh, yeah, 100%.
How do you feel like that? How do you feel like that affects you as somebody analyzing the game? Does that make it difficult for you to not play guys, or not when you see guys not getting the game?
It's this year we have so many great players. And when you have, 10, 12, 13 people on the bench, it's hard to get everyone in.
Right.
It really is, because you have players who can go in the game and score 50 points. We probably have like 6 of those players who on any given night can score 40 to 50 points.
Right.
And it's just about everyone playing their role. And these last 4 games, we've all learned how to do that.
Speaking of the last 4 games, you guys have had a tremendous season. You guys, in terms of your scoring rate, you guys are like top 15 in scoring points per game, right? Which is, just phenomenal when you think of the fact that you guys are scoring 130, 140 points a game. Normally, I think that's kind of impressive to see. How do you feel like? Well, let's go to this. Who do you guys play this Saturday?
We play the Philadelphia Cannons.
The Philadelphia Cannons, and are they the number 1 team in the league?
They are not. They're the 2nd team in our region. They're second.
Okay, and so what kind of implications does this game have this weekend?
Oh, this is a huge game for playoff standings. I believe we're guaranteed a home playoff game, win or lose. However, if we do win, our 2nd round matchup would be in Maryland compared to in Massachusetts.
Okay.
So if we
that's
win,
definitely a huge big deal for you guys, right? What kind of team is the Philly Cannons? I know you guys have played them. Have you guys played them yet before this season?
Yes, we played them once. That was Christo Majoke's quadruple double game last time. They are a good team. They definitely have some rotating pieces. They have one player who was not there last time we played him, Kyer Laws, great player. He's averaging 26 points for them. And like he's the type of guy who can show up 30 minutes late to a game, then go in the court and drop 30 without breaking a sweat. Yeah, basically. But he's gonna be the number 1 priority stop. and then everyone else kind of will fall in line. And if you stop him, then it kind of feels it's, levels to stop.
Yeah, I don't want you to reveal too much about your game plan, but how do you guys plan on approaching the game from a philosophical standpoint? I know you guys like to run. Are you guys going to keep the pedal down? Are you guys going to look to run set offense, or is it something that you're going to kind of, you know, that you always have to gauge as you go along?
Well, no disrespect to Philly Cannons or anything, but once they get down mentally and down in the game, they're
Right.
you gotta push. And I believe last time we played them, we had a 20-point first quarter lead, and then we kind of took our foot off the pedal and let them back in the game. We eventually ended up winning by 20, but that 20 should have been 40, 50.
And that's something that we see as a pattern for you guys, getting big leads, letting them come back, making games more competitive than they have to. What do you think lends to that, or what do you think you guys have done to remedy that as the season that's going on?
I feel like sometimes there are certain situations where either there's a controversial call or other team starts talking and we feed into it too much. And we get thrown off our game and stop playing. Like it's almost like the game doesn't matter anymore. I want to do me. I want to take it one-on-one. I want to score. Kind of like last home game against the Fredericksburg Grizzlies. When they showed up in the first quarter, they had 5 guys and we played them in pennies, and the game started a little bit late. Players were thrown off. And then all of a sudden, I believe we were down. We were up 1 at the end of the first quarter. Their 3 best players walk in the door. Then all of a sudden it turns on an engine like, let's go.
Right. You guys end up going up by 20 by halftime. They come back again. It's something that it's a trend for you guys. And I think you guys have definitely shown as the season's going on the resilience that you need to pull those games out when they're tight at the end as well.
It definitely. I think a problem earlier in the season was players, who could score 40, 50 were getting upset that they weren't on the court as much as they felt they should. Last game, there was none of that. And the last 2 games, actually, even when we were losing in Massachusetts, there was none of that, complaining. I'm not in the game. My philosophy is if you don't need a sub, you're not giving 100%.
Right.
With how fast this game paces, if you're giving 100% the entire game, you're going to need a sub after 6 to 8 minutes.
Right.
So.
And now, is that something you coach towards? That sounds like a coaching philosophy, right? Like you're like, I need the most out of you for 6 to 8 minutes. So is that something you guys intentionally work on? Is that something you do extra conditioning for in practice?
Oh, yeah, definitely. Before the season, we had conditioning workouts with all the players. This was before tryouts, so they were open conditioning workouts. Anyone could join. And, I think that really helped. Because obviously, as you point out, we are a fast-paced team. So we are running the entire game. But if you don't give 100%, then that 10% that you're lacking could be 3 points the other way that cost the game.
Absolutely. Let's reflect on this season. Were there any? What was the biggest hurdle for you guys this season? I know you guys are in a good position in the playoffs and everything, but every team, every season had ups and downs, right? What was the biggest challenge for you guys this year as an organization?
I would feel the difficulty with COVID, because obviously I feel COVID has impacted obviously every business. But before the season started, we weren't 100% sure where and even if we were going to be able to play.
Yeah.
And it was hard because we weren't able to, go out and go to the sponsors and, give them a packet because it was COVID, and we felt, not really obligated, but felt bad, just, like we have a team and we're pushing this during COVID when everyone is struggling,
Right.
So we have taken paid for a lot of things out of pocket. So that's probably been the hardest struggle. But we will make it back during, summer camps, programs, AAU teams in the fall, so everything like that.
Awesome. It sounds like you guys have a pretty serious business model when it comes to hoops, and that's dope.
Yeah, definitely. Not, it's not only for, the players to win games and, us to look good and, win championships. Obviously, that's a goal, but our goal is to strengthen the community of basketball in Lancaster. Because, obviously you have the Nook, but other than the Nook, there's not a lot of, basketball teams and opportunities for kids to go to. You can obviously go to see a Sixers game, but especially this season, those tickets are way out of budget. So, you come and you can bring your family, it's fun. It's high level basketball and you can save a lot of money, and it gives, kids the opportunity to see, it's not NBA or bust. You have
the fact it's quality basketball. I mean, I enjoyed the games. I call the games. I've been at all the home games this year. Like I said, I thoroughly enjoyed the style of play and the competitive level of the teams that come in. Like you said, and the organization as well. It's a well-run league.
Hey, 100%. Like I'll be taking stats sometimes. I'll forget. Like, oh, I got to mark that. Like I'll just be enjoying the game sometimes. But
right, that's the beautiful part of being a fan. But it's also the issue of being an administrative part of the team. Let's get into a little bit of NBA talk. I know you said you've been watching basketball films from the 80s, 90s, and 2000s. So let's talk about let's do comparisons. All right, your favorite point guard. I'll give you John Stockton or Steve Nash.
Nash.
Steve Nash, give me a reason besides the MVP.
Because like I was referencing earlier, you don't need scorers. I believe Nash led that Lakers team on and off the court, and the Suns team on and off the court. He brought them together as a team that wasn't there before he was there.
I tend to pick Steve Nash as well. I just think that anybody who you can develop a specific style of play around has got to be a transcendent player. But I definitely think that when you look at the fact that John Stockton has 4,000 more assists than the next guy, he makes a great argument for himself too in the conversation. All right, let's go with I'll go with big guards. I'm not going to call LeBron a forward. So Magic Johnson or LeBron James. If you're a fan, I hope you pick. If you're a true old school fan, a true student of the game, I hope you pick Magic. Very partial.
As a point guard, I'm gonna have to say Magic, but as the overall player, I'm gonna go LeBron.
I can't see your children and your millennial opinion. I can't believe you. I should have known. We're talking about guards. Talk about guards, okay? Magic Johnson's clearly a better guard. All right. Jeez, please. You guys always want to make LeBron a bigger part of the conversation. I'm just messing with you, man. But let's go with big men. All right, who you take, Joel Embiid or Anthony Davis?
Ooh. I feel this season, Embiid, the way he's learned to space out the game with his 3-point shooting, it has to be Embiid. Because now teams can't just hold the paint, and especially with the Sixers adding, Danny Green and Seth Curry,
all the shooting.
Embiid one-on-one just can't be stopped.
Who do you got in the NBA Finals this year? What two teams?
I'm a Sixers fan, but I had the Nets beating us, unfortunately.
Okay.
I have the Nets and the Lakers.
Yeah, the Nets and the Lakers. Is that something you really believe? You think the Lakers have the chance with what seems to be the toughest road, a very tough road ahead?
I was more I'll say this. I was a lot more confident about it before last night and how close that Warriors Lakers game.
I feel like everybody felt the same way. Like I was like, all right, if they come out and they dominate, and they're gonna dominate the playoffs. They struggled against the crippled Warriors
Yeah.
at home. Like it just doesn't feel for me. I'm actually I want the Lakers to win as a Lakers fan, but I think this is the Suns' year, man. I really want to see Chris Paul do it, and I think this will just solidify him as possibly the greatest point guard of the generation.
Oh yeah, 100%. I really want to see CP3 get a ring, but honestly, I just want to see the Suns Lakers series go to 7,
No matter what.
no matter what, because I feel like that would just be a great series to watch as a basketball fan.
Yeah, and I actually believe the Bucks are the sleeper team. I know they're probably the third best team in the East, but I think they're the sleeper team to make it to the finals. Personally, that I just got this feeling. I feel like they put the right pieces together this year. They didn't have to reinvent the wheel and be the best team in the league again this year. Right? They just had to make the playoffs with home court advantage, and I think that put them in the best position to actually. They're healthy. They got tremendous shooting. They play great defense. They shot block. I don't know, man. I feel like the Bucks can beat the Nets. It's tough. It's tough argument because nobody's gonna agree with me, and I don't really care. But I really believe that the Bucks have a really, really good shot at it this year. And I'd love to see a Bucks Suns final just to switch it up on the whole world.
Yeah, I do feel the Bucks have the best chance against the Nets because you can easily put Drew Holiday on any Kyrie or Harden, and then easily put Giannis on KD.
Chris Middleton, been
Yeah,
an all defensive player before. Like, come on, man. I feel like the matchups fit. Everybody's talking about how much the Nets can dominate the Eastern Conference. I'm like, the Bucks, they have all their pieces back from last year. They added Drew Holiday. Chris Middleton is still an all-star quality player, an all-star level defender. Like, come on, man. I feel like yeah, firepower something, but continuity got to count for something at some point.
yeah, 100%. And KD with the Nets this year and injuries, they've been so much more injury prone than the Bucks. And obviously, you don't hope for any injuries, but the stats, it showed the Nets are more likely to get hurt. And if KD falls, we haven't seen Kyrie play a full round of playoffs, like a full, fine playoffs since the 2016 Cavs.
No one even knows what Kyrie's gonna do from day to day. Like he might just be in Mali somewhere, hanging out pregame. Like that's just the kind of character he is.
Yeah, I definitely gained a lot of respect for Kyrie this year because he's personalized himself, and it doesn't seem like he's like a diva or bringing the team down. But when he's there, the team works well together. He just randomly goes on mental health oases.
Right, it's an awkward dynamic to see how well they play when he's there, and also how well they play when he's not there, and also the fact that there really is no issues with him coming and going. Right, it doesn't seem like the players are really griping or complaining, and I don't know, maybe it is out there, but I haven't really seen that, and it's really weird to see a bunch of professional athletes being able to acquiesce. I mean, although Kyrie is supremely talented, to
Yeah,
acquiesce to a guy who's really trying to be a part-time athlete. Like that seems difficult when these guys are full-time, really, really giving their heart out to earn their check.
mhm. Oh yeah, 100%. But Kyrie, I I was a LeBron fan in 2016. I still am. I'll follow. I want LeBron to end his career with more championships than MJ and everything like that. But I didn't like Kyrie in his role in 2016 because I felt like that's when he brought everyone down. And then I think in Boston, he took time and reflected on everything, especially when he was injured last year in Brooklyn. And he realized it's more of a personal game and a mental game than it is a physical one.
It definitely seemed like that 2016 year, Kyrie was playing with something to prove. And I think at this point, people acknowledge Kyrie as one of the most talented players, ball handlers, and finishers of all time. So he's not at that point of having to prove anything. And I think that does a lot for a man, in terms of that level of that freedom to play, and trust other people.
Yeah. It's just, I feel the Nets don't have enough defense.
I
Because
keep saying that.
especially no matter who it is, the Sixers or the Bucks, or even the Celtics, if Jaylen Brown was healthy, you can't stop Holiday, Middleton, Giannis with just KD, Harden, and Kyrie. DeAndre Jordan and why am I blanking?
The Bucks can play 5 out. This
Yes.
is this is the one thing that the league has to understand. The Bucks can play 5 out. If the Bucks can play 5 out, DeAndre Jordan is neutralized, and nobody on that team can guard Giannis. And outside of really who is their wing defender for the Nets, right? The Nets don't have a quality wing defender on their team. You can give the job to KD, but then who's going to guard Giannis? You know,
Yeah.
I feel like it's going to be a great matchup if we can get it. Let's finish up a wrap up on the season. Let's look back on it. What is your fondest memory? What was the most competitive game? Something that you would take with you as a treasure memory from the season with the Thunder.
Wow. Game 1. We went up to Plaistow, New Hampshire. New Hampshire, and it was like a 8-hour drive. We went up the night before. It was a doubleheader night, so we played Saturday, Sunday, and then went home Sunday. Saturday it was a back and forth game the entire way, and I think it was a 1-point game. We were up 1, and Demetrius Davenport, he went up for a layup. The guy went to take the charge, and Meach just fell, and he was temporarily paralyzed from his knee down. And this was not as much of a positive memory as it was like a triumphant one. And he's getting carted off the court. And, I had called the ambulance come pick him up. Coach, she couldn't go to the hospital. No one could visit him at the hospital. But there was like 4 minutes left. We kept going. And as Meach was leaving, all he said is win. And then I think we ended up winning that game by like 8 or 10. And
that's a good memory. I mean, I know it's a little tongue in cheek, but I mean, it's definitely a positive memory to have, one of your teammates and one of your players get hurt, and still have the motive, the cojones really to cheer his team on while he's being carted off. That's always a great memory, man.
And then to come back the next day, he obviously couldn't play because he could barely walk at that point still. But even the fans of the other team who was there, they all gave applause and everything. DJ shouted him out. And it was still heartwarming because, at that point, it's not just basketball and it's not just competitiveness. Right. It's, you get to see so much more behind the scenes.
The community of basketball, the culture of basketball, what it contributes to life, to people's lives.
100%.
Man, Lucas, I really appreciate you being on with us today for Thunder Thursday, man. It was a really, really great conversation, man. I look forward to seeing you this Saturday. What time and where?
It's 3:00, Lids Christian. Also, anyone who comes to the game brings $1. 30 people limit. We're having a $100 3-point shootout. So if you think you can shoot, come this Saturday at 3 p.m. and at halftime, we'll have a chance for you to win $100.
Oh, you heard it. $1 for a 3-point shootout to win $100. I mean, I don't know if I can compete. I mean, I really can't shoot, but I mean, I gotta take my chances. It's only $1, right? If I go out and throw 100 bricks up, at least I put my chances up there, right?
Oh, yeah.
All right, man. Thank you very much, Lucas. I appreciate you. Good luck this Saturday. Hopefully, you guys get that home game in that second. You get the victory. You get the home game in the playoffs in that second game in Maryland, so y'all can save a little bit on that budget.
100%.
Have a good one, man. See you Saturday.
All right. Thank you.